So we're still working in Module 6, Chapter 6. In this, I'm going to show you how default parameters work. Again, we know how to write functions. We know how to write functions with parameters, without parameters. Now, these parameters can be set to have default values. So if you look here, here's my function prototype. Let me add some comments here as we go along. So here's a function. It's a void function, doesn't return anything. It's called printed, and it takes a parameter of type string, and the name of the variable is message. And notice we put a value for it when we declare it. So we say message equals hello world. So if you had an integer variable, then you would put in a number that could be a default value. So that way the system doesn't error out or crash when the user does not pass a parameter. So let's see how it works. The function really doesn't have much. It again receives the parameter and simply outputs it in this case because it's just a string. Now, if we go take a look at our main function here, we call the printed function, and in this statement, which is the first statement, we pass a value to the string. So to the string message, and so we say printed, I want to pass this string, and it's going to output that string. Now notice in my next function call, I don't pass any parameter to it. Now normally, if you did not have that statement in there, if you did not have the default parameter, it's going to give you an error message because it's expecting a parameter, and when you don't have a parameter, it's not going to like it. But since we have a default parameter, it says, okay, well, if the user does not pass a parameter, I'm going to use the default value that we have declared here, and it's going to use that. So let's build it and run it, and Control F5, and notice the first time it says hello from GD Iyer, and the second time it simply says hello world, which is our default parameter here. Now, to test it the other way, let's come here and take out the default parameter. If you take it out and let's try to build it, notice you already see a small squiggly mark there that says too few arguments in function call. If you try to build it, it's going to say this function does not take 0 arguments because there is no default parameter, and so calling the function without a parameter is an error. So let's go here and put our default parameter back so it has some default string in there. That way we don't get the error message. Close my quote. And then we build it again, and this time it's better, and you run it and you see that is how the default parameters work.